Hi everyone, Chris here, Men's Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a one-pot Greek chicken and lemon rice dish. So all in one dish, into the oven, done. So I'm going to turn the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing and explain everything. Here we go. So here I have the chicken thighs, which are bone-in, skin on. Excuse me. And they've been marinating overnight, and I pulled them out of the fridge about half an hour ago because they just need to come slightly to room temperature before you start to brown them in your pan. I'll leave that there. Here we have all the ingredients. So we've got our onion, we've got our dried oregano, we've got lemon zest and our lemon slices, and our chicken stock, and of course our rice. The rice we're using today is long grain rice, and that is readily available. If you prefer basmati rice, then obviously use basmati rice as well, or instead of, if you prefer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scrape off the marinade, and the only reason I'm doing that is because the garlic will burn if we don't. So I'll just take a piece of the chicken out and just take that down into the dish. Okay, we'll get our pan on, and we will need a little bit of oil. So just give me a second. Just squirt a little bit of oil into our pan, put it on, and we'll warm that up. So scrape the garlic off all the other pieces. Garlic burns very, very quickly. Okay, just put that to the side and do that on all 4 pieces. Now, if you couldn't get thigh cutlets with their skin on, and you've got skinless thigh fillets, then they will cook much, much quicker than being on the bone. So it's a good idea just to brown them slightly, put them to the side, and then we'll add them later in the dish. So there is our marinade. So I can throw this bag away and wash my hands, and we're just about ready to go. Okay, so just wipe that up. Pan's heating up nicely. Can you see that? Okay, get that nice and hot. Now this is a cast iron pan, but if you've got a pan, any pan that can withstand the heat on the cooktop and then can go in the oven, or have a pan that can go in the oven and use a fry pan just to brown the chicken and cook the onions, and then transfer it to a casserole dish. Your casserole dish needs a lid. If you don't have a lid, then we can cover it in foil. That's getting pretty hot now. So I have a plate ready just to put the chicken on when we're done. And I'm going to put that in, sizzling away. And when it comes to room, the chicken comes to room temperature or thereabouts, it's been out of the fridge for a while, it actually doesn't stew when it gets to the pan. It cooks really nicely, and you shouldn't have a build-up of water. Okay, we're just going to brown this. Already it's smelling delicious. Just want it to be nice and golden. If you put the chicken straight in the oven, it has an insipid look to it. It doesn't, you want it to look brown before you pop it in. Do it for a good sort of 3 to 5 minutes, and just make sure it's not burning. So every now and again, just have a little lift up and a turn around. You see that starting to brown. See that there? So just turn that around a bit. These are quite big, these chicken cutlets. So with if you do it with chicken thigh fillets with no skin, then you would only brown them very quickly, maybe 1 minute or so. So I'm going to give this another minute this side, and then I'm going to turn it over. Can you see? Oh, looking nice. Lovely. And you can see the skin shrinks back a little bit. And we've got this lovely bit of caramelization happening here in the middle of the pan, and that's our flavour bomb. So when we add our stock and our rice, after we've cooked our onions, it's going to pick up all that flavour that's on the bottom there. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes at this stage. Oh, it does smell nice. We had smell a zoom. Another minute or so, and then we can put that to the side, because I'm going to be using this same pan throughout the entire cook. Have a little look. Oops, a little bit more. So all up about 5 minutes on this side. Sorry, to brown in the pan. Now I've used dried oregano in this recipe, so when you're buying it, buy yourself a good sized jar, because you can use this in your dressings and in lots of chicken dishes. It really is a lovely herb to use. I've got some fresh oregano just to place on the top as well. So can you see that there? We've got a nice bit of colour on that. So that's looking really good. If you have a big appetite, you might need more than one. But for these, there's quite a lot of meat on here. So it depends on your appetite. So if you do, you could always get an extra 2 and then share that with whoever you're serving to. So I'm going to pop that on a plate now. It's nice and golden. Okay, I'll just show you what they look like. Looking good. Okay. And now into this pan. There's plenty of fat there. Because there's some of the fat has rendered down from the chicken, so I don't need to add any more oil to the pan. Just get a little bit of a spatula. Scoop that around, let that cook. We want that to not burn, but we do want it to be a little translucent, just to help the cook along. You find with onion that if you don't cook it down at this stage and get it soft, if you add liquid to it, you won't be able to soften it down unless you cook it for a very long period of time. And we're only cooking for about 40-45 minutes. So to get the onion really soft, you'd need an hour to an hour and a half. So just keep moving the onions around. I haven't changed the temperature. Just left it sort of on medium-high heat. And you can see we've got this browning here, but that'll all come off once we add the stock. Now that's been cooking just for a couple of minutes. I'm going to add back that marinade with the garlic. So put that in. So as we've said before, always make sure that you have all your ingredients ready to begin with, and then it's much easier to know where you are in a recipe. If you've used everything, so I've even measured out the oregano. Once you've used it, if you're using it straight from the container, once you've used it, put it to the side and you know you've used it. I'm very guilty of forgetting things if I don't do it this way. So organisation is key when you're cooking. So read that recipe all the way through and find out exactly what you need. There's nothing worse than getting to the end of a recipe and thinking, oh no, now I need a carton of cream or whatever. So, because not all recipes that you find on the internet are tested that well. Okay, you can see that that's starting to look quite good, but it needs another minute or two. And then we're going to add in our rice and our herbs, our zest, and our stock. And then we'll be bringing the chicken back into the pan and popping it in the oven. So make sure your oven is on at 180 degrees, fan forced. A little bit hotter if you don't have a fan in your oven, or if you've got fan assist. If you've got fan assist, it's not circulating the heat evenly around the oven. You'll have hot spots and low spots, whereas with fan forced, it should be the same temperature all the way through. Should be, dependent on the brand of the oven. All right, that's looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is add the rice, mix that through, our oregano, that in, and then we have the zest of a lemon, which I just took a fine grater to. You can see that that's quite fine. That gives a lot of flavour. A little goes a long way. Like so. Just get that well coated. Oh, it smells so good. Alright, so that's 1 cup of rice, and then we have 2 1/4 cups of liquid. And this is where it will take all that lovely flavour from the base of the pan. We're going to bring that to the boil, just below the boil. And this is our fresh oregano that we'll put on the top of our dish at the end to serve. So when I zested the lemon, I kept it, and then we can use those slices just so we don't waste the lemon. You can see that that's already coming to a boil. So now we'll add back our chicken, put that on top of the rice. So easy, this dish. Now these are very chunky thigh fillets, as I said, so I might cook this for 45 instead of 40. Get rid of that. Just turn that down a bit. And now we place the lemon slices in and around the dish, just to give it that flavour. And then we place the lid on, pop that in the oven, and that's going to bake for 40 minutes. I'll turn this cooktop off, pop it in the oven. And the good thing about induction cooktops, the handles don't get too hot. Set the timer, and I will be back to you in 40 minutes. Right, we're back. We've had this in the oven for the 45 minutes, and I took the lid off and gave it another 10 minutes. So you can see that the stock has been absorbed, and underneath we've got this beautiful moist rice. So what we're going to do now is obviously serve it up. We'll just give it a little bit of salt, just a little sea salt, and then I've just chopped up some fresh oregano, pop that over, and to go with that I have made a Greek salad, just a simple Greek salad, and that's number 33 in your cookbook. But there we go, a one pot dish, all looking beautiful. You can see this, I'll show you up close to the camera, and looking lovely and cooked. So there you are, enjoy.